I'm here, Sutty, don't you worry.
Miles off.
Oh, I've binned it. Oh dear.
Oh, shame.
That's a
Yeah,
funny
it's
binning.
alright.
Yup.
It's
That's
not
a
the
funny
end of the
bin that you just
world.
fucking go on to grass, but that's it. Get your foot down.
Yeah,
Hey, now
Phil.
you're gonna bin it. Oh, no, he hasn't, he's kept it.
Evening, Phil.
Evening, mate. How we doing?
Not bad,
Hiya,
mate. Yourself?
Phil.
Again?
How you doing, love?
Yeah, not too bad, hun. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad, darling.
All right,
You ready to
Chip.
see some carnage this evening?
Certainly am, mate.
Dean's
I
not
can't
racing
do
race once, so I don't
this
know
track
if
in the
you can
rain. I'm just letting you know. So I don't know what's going to
Absolutely
happen.
can't do it in the rain whatsoever, can you?
Oh,
Nope.
fucking... Where's that bastard violin? Honestly. More people
I can't
in
do
this
it,
league.
Matt. I can't do it.
Can do it, Captain?
I keep spinning.
You're as bad as fucking peaceful.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't top the fucking boards.
I just want to take you back to race one at year where you topped the
One
board.
race, and how many times has Mazda gone? I struggle in the wet and still top the fucking board.
Let's have a look at the wet races, shall we? Red Bull Ring, he won. Wasn't wet. Nürburgring, he didn't win a race. Spa, he
Neither did
won
I.
both, but it was briefly wet.
I didn't.
He won Daytona race 2, briefly wet.
Yeah, I didn't win.
Didn't win at Bruno.
Neither did I, so that's good.
Actually,
Yeah,
hang on.
I see a pattern
Sorry, 1 second. I was looking at the Pro-Am category then. That wasn't Masters results. Let me go
I
up.
was going to say, because Sutty run race 2 at Daytona.
Right. So he won. Right. He didn't win at Nürburgring. He only finished second and disconnected from race 2 because he's balls.
Second.
Won both at Spa because it only rained briefly. Didn't win at Daytona. Didn't win at Bruno. So you know he's
But how
not that
many
good in the
times
wet.
in the wet has he placed in front of me?
Oh well, a lot more than that because Mazda's just top class, isn't it?
There you go, see?
Mazda's world class at it, though, isn't
Sandbagging. King
he?
Sandbagger.
Mazda's world class at the game.
No, I'm not. I'm quite sure.
Alright, Mazda's the best we've got at the game.
We haven't set the bar very high.
Dean Wasocki, race 1. No points because he's suspended.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's suspended from first race.
Wonder if Dean has.
Oh, you don't? Do you know if he has actually forgot? That'd be funny as fuck.
You'd love it. Oh, Dean, do you not remember?
Guess what? Bad race too.
Can you just imagine sending a message, Oi Dean, fuck off, you're not meant to be in this part of race.
I'm just actually now you've all said that. I'm actually just going to text him.
Just remember you've got a ban.
He's paranoid.
I just know he's thick as shit and I'd probably
Oh,
come
see,
in.
there's Gary in a fucking 138. Yeah, I can't drive this Gary.
You alright, babe?
Oh, I
rubbish
only
on
have
this
till
track.
11 o'clock today.
I wish it was
Okay.
dry, peaceful.
So do I.
As the new Assassin's Creed, Phil.
It's meant to be shit Assassin's Creed film.
Liam, shut up. I can't
It's
take
meant to be shit. It's brilliant.
it. What'd you say, Phil?
It looks good.
Yeah, really enjoying it, mate. It's good, like.
I didn't even
It's
play
meant to be
last
the
one.
best one since the first couple, innit?
In my opinion, it's the best one since Black Flag.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's a good statement, that, Phil.
Syndicate was one of the best ones.
Black Flag was brilliant.
Where they told Ezio and Altair's story. Although I didn't mind Unity, the one in France. I quite enjoyed that one. Good story.
I like that, the one where it's meant to be back in slave period shit, like that one. I can't even remember what it was called.
Okay, let me just double check the edit again, check the laps, I haven't glitched out like last time.
Slow around here.
16 minutes. 16
What's
minutes
that?
race.
I'm not doing too well.
Just keep it up.
Sorry, just wait till I get a fucking talent quality.
Oh, come on, it's not letting me back out. Come on. Come on. Try a different, do that.
Oh, a different doodah?
Different doodah.
They're the ones you've got to try. Got to try all the doodahs.
Oh, I gotta try all the doodahs, I can't wait for Zol to spin at a Scary.
Everyone.
All you're gonna hear is, well, we're not gonna hear it, but imagine Gary's wheel map.
He fucking loves it when his wheel fucking
That's
beeps
not
itself.
bad.
Oh, it tickles me when you hear his wheel go.
Depends, has he got his wheel mounted to his desk?
Oh,
Oh no, shut up.
oh, Liam. My wheel's not turning.
Turns out he's not clamped it to desk.
That's
You're
just a
not Phil.
classic me thing to do. It's a classic Wasowski thing to do, you know, just forget everything.
Like,
Mr. Wakasaki of
Like-
Liam.
like
Will you
Uncle
tell
White
him that?
Nephew.
Tell him what it does.
Only thing is, I'm the alpha. I'm the alpha Wakasaki.
Tell you what, lads, I'm struggling.
Oh god, here he comes. Drill some holes in them sandbags.
Mate, I'm to the 49, I can't do it quicker.
Oh, Master, did you
no.
agree with Kieran's comment this morning on Rabbit Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's this said?
Joe's got 3 penalty points
Jesus.
because he finished
was
last
my last
and
outlet.
punted the rear of DJ Phil and made DJ Phil spin. So, yeah.
I won't get another lap in, but let's see how I do this out lap compared to my last one.
It's okay, I'm not getting any penalty points next season, no way.
Fucking
Told.
Excuse me. At least at least this Wasowski or Wakasaki or whatever the fuck you want to call it didn't get a
drive.
race ban.
Yet.
Drive like a fucking Mongol.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Excuse me, there is no yet.
Plenty of time for you to drive like a Mongol. It took Dean, this is Dean's 3rd season and he started to drive like a Mongol, so you know.
Even Matt did it
Plenty
at
of fucking
Sugo.
time. How very dare you!
Oh, I wouldn't bully Matt. He's the one who's got the power of giving you penalty points for fuck all.
You don't understand about Sugo, Liam.
Fucking horrendous track.
How very dare you for
Yeah,
mentioning
anyway,
Sugo
more
Sooty.
importantly,
Even
season
Phil,
two,
even
John,
Phil
what the
cannot
fuck
stand
was
that
them
name.
season?
Even Phil cannot stand that name.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
Phil,
Keith.
Matt was disgusting at that track, wasn't he?
He was, mate.
I don't know how you dare, Philip.
Matt, I reckon
What's
for
going
them
on there?
bullying you, I reckon you should wipe all the points.
Brilliant. I don't know what set up to do, Philly boy.
I'm just seeing what this lap time is now. Base it on my out lap. Million.
Right, I'm going to jump in a party with Andy. Lads, best of luck for tonight. Sooty for mentioning Sugo. I hope you do shit. Phil for saying it was my fault at Sugo. I hope you have a bad night as well. Evening. Just wanted to pop on and say best luck tonight, Bert. Give them fucking hell. They've already been slagging you off. Sooty and that into the party. Oh, Gary at 148, so I thought he had a appalling knee. In the good job, because Mazda can't be arsed. So, give him hell, mate. I'll catch you in a bit. Wish your brother luck and all. y más allá. Got 8 minutes yet though, so we're alright. Yeah, I've heard from him. Just waiting for him and Little Leech now. Just waiting for him and Little Leech. He puts one more emoji, I'm putting him in a timeout. Keegs puts one more emoji, I'm putting him in a timeout.
I just want to look my way and never back to you. I'm not above, let me be myself. I'm not above, let me be myself.
Andy's in. Alright, pal.
Alright, mate?
You alright, mate?
Yeah, sound.
Good, man.
You good?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. A little
Doing a
just
lot
doing
better than I did last night. A
Good.
million times better.
Missed a good one, to be fair.
Yeah, it looked like it. Phil actually took a double. Come out, that's amazing. I was so happy for him.
Brazy, oh mate, I was as well. Brazy's internet playing up again, and Chris didn't
when he was in-
capitalise.
Even when he was commentating though.
Oh, I know. But it's meant that because Chris texted now a drop score of last night, because that was his worst round, it's kind of made the championship really interesting.
What's the, you said 25 points between the top 5, isn't it?
25 between the top 5, yeah.
That'd be
Changed a
good
lot,
if DJ
really.
Phil can actually get in there, because he seems to be so good in the wet. Every time it
Yeah.
rains, he's always there.
Got a bit of wet weather next week, but I think it's 2 or 3 weather slots, so it might not be there for a lot, but it's a bit of wet rain next week. Then Imola's bone dry, so I'll have to see.
Yeah, he needs to capitalise next week then. Where is it next week?
Algarve.
Oh god. I hate that track. Don't mind commentating on it though.
I quite like the track, to be fair.
There's something about it, I don't know. It was fun in touring cars. I like any track in touring cars, but
Yeah.
in GT cars, I just can't get the hang of it. I don't know why.
I've never actually raced in touring cars, but I never raced it in the GT cars.
Oh, it's good fun in touring cars. Because the thing is, with touring cars, it doesn't really matter what track it is, as long as you know how to drive the car.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind
I'm
of
with you.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's pull up this banging stream, have a look and see how it looks.
It looks alright at the minute. Got the
Looked good
SSD in,
yesterday.
so yeah, got the SSD in. I had a bit of a blip yesterday where my PC didn't load right, so it was a bit laggy in general. Then it froze and I was like, oh no, please don't say that it's not the hard drive that's the problem. And then it worked fantastic and it's working alright now, so
Yeah,
that's
it looks
live in a
sound.
minute.
It looked mint yesterday. Put the webcam on. Do the face cam.
I literally did that on the laptop the other week to see how it looked, and I was like, and I was sat there on my sim rig, sort of like bobbing.
We should do a Discord video call and have our face cams in the corner one time. That'd be fun.
We'll have to do that for like a fun event or something, maybe a Simplay V motive next time.
Yeah,
Get us two sort of in the
definitely.
corners on the comms box or something.
Yeah, one side on, have like motive on one side, Simple
Yeah.
on the other, have my face as motive. That'd be good.
That'd be cool, that.
Yeah.
This is just the bits I've got to get
Hashtag
better at now. The transition from the music to then the open scene that my brother's done for me.
Here we go. Oh, it's gone back to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's on a loop. It's on a loop. I've pressed it at the wrong time. Oh well. Oh well.
Doesn't matter. He's not going to do that, says Beth.
Good afternoon and welcome to Simplay Motorsport for the Monza circuit round 15 and 16 of the season. I'm your host Matthew Duffin and I'm joined in the commentary box tonight with Andy. So Andy, glad to have you back here and hope you're well.
It's good to be back, mate. Yeah, unfortunately I had to miss yesterday's events, the Pro-Am series, where we saw DJ Phil taking his first win. I'm gutted I missed that, but as I say, I'm absolutely delighted to be back here in the commentary box alongside yourself at the tempo of speed here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Well, if yesterday's anything to go by, then we're in for an absolute treat.
Indeed we are. Just one quick of information, you'll only notice that there's 14 guys on the grid. We will soon be getting Little Each, he's just sorting out his update, but there will only be 15 cars for this race, as Dean Rosocki picked himself up a ban for race 1 due to incidents last week cutting the pit lane and then forcing drivers off the track. He already had penalty points to his name, so he's picked up the remaining penalty points needed to get a ban for the first race. So that is Dean's first ban of the season. His points will now reset at 0 and have 12 more left. If he does get another ban, it will be for a whole entire Thursday evening, where he won't be able to participate with us. So Dean will be back for race 2, but he's not with us for race 1. But going into this one, the championship leader's there, and I am told that Gary is on the pedals on the wheel. So Gary, possibly a man back in form. I know he's been over at Motive Racing with buttons on the wheel. I think, oh, we've lost a guy. We've lost a driver. We've got one back. Little Each is back. I'm not quite sure who we've lost. But Little Each is back. It's not Peaceful Explosion. He's been having internet problems all day. Yes, so I do believe Gary is back on the pedals. He did say earlier he was going to try them tonight and test with them a little bit. I know over at your Motive Racing with you guys, he's been on the buttons on the wheel, but has struggled somewhat. So has felt comfortable on the pedals.
Well, to be fair, considering that he was using his buttons as accelerators and brakes, it was actually a really good performance for him on Sunday in the touring cars. He was, battling it out in, I think, 4th and 5th at one point in that race. So, you can't really put him down in that situation, because it's not easy, because you can't really sort of measure how much you're putting the power down in terms of when you're getting on a throttle. It's very tricky to do so. But it's also quite a bold move for Gary to be already moving back to those pedals. Obviously he had a knee operation just over a week ago, or 2 weeks ago now I think. So when you consider that, I mean, it's pretty brave of him to be jumping in head first, but at the moment he seems to be alright. But the question is, obviously over a race distance, is he going to start to feel a bit of wear and tear? We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Well, this is the problem. This is the questions that we'll all be asking tonight, no doubt. I'm just going to quickly run through the championship standings. Mazda leads on 205 points. 18 clear of the man you see on screen at Gary 131. Little Each's brother then sits P3, 29 off the lead. Little Each is in the session. No, he's not in the session at the moment, so must be having trouble after the update with these pedals and stuff. Sooty Apex sits 4th, 33 points off of Mazda, with Peaceful Explosion then in P5, 39 points off of Mazda. Phil 49 points behind and is just slowly drifting away from the other guys as well. Phil is another one not on circuit, so I wonder if he's loaded the game. I know on Project Cars, if you load the game up with a pad, not the wheel, it'll sometimes not register the wheels, pedals or steering, so I wonder if that's the
there was a
problem.
match disconnection just a few moments ago, Matt. We did lose 3 guys, so we dropped down to 12 runners here in this qualifying session. I'm not exactly sure what's happened there, but certainly there's been some kind of error with the network here. Hopefully PSN is keeping itself tidy tonight, because we don't want to be seeing anyone losing out due to poor connection problems.
No, indeed we won't. 1 second.
So Mazda currently coming round. He's going to be the first man to set a flying lap here. He's coming into Ascari at the moment. Mazda has usually been the quickest man in the dry conditions over the course of this season so far here at Simplay. He's been no slouch in the wet either. He's always up there or thereabouts, taking the most wins of anybody this season, I believe, here in this Pro Series. He's coming up with Parabolica.
Yeah, he has. I've just heard from Phil. Sorry, I've just heard from Phil that it's not letting him back in. So we're going to try and restart the game and see if that will work. Hopefully that is not the case. otherwise we will, because we had to, like you say, you did have a bit of a mass disconnection. We may have to restart the events now.
Yeah, and obviously that's only fair on the guys who did drop out. As we see Mazda there coming over the line, he does 1 minute 48.7, solid time there from Mazda. But I'm sure that we can be seeing improvements from him as this session goes along. He's just done a little bit of jumping back in, I think, or is it?
No, Little Leach has just jumped back in.
in.
Yeah, Little Leach has just jumped back in, so he's in for the session. And I didn't finish reading through the table. Mazda, to answer your question, Mazda most wins. He has indeed. He's got 4, so that answers that one. He has got the most wins in the pro category. Phil sits.
Quick note: D Biggs has also got kicked out and can't get back in as well. So
Oh,
it's
is he
not
saying that
just-
on the stream?
Yeah, he's saying that on the YouTube comments section. So there's obviously some kind of big issue going on with PlayStation Network. It could be the online championships. So I don't know if we'll have to jump in and do a private lobby.
Yeah, I've told him the same as I've told Phil, to just restart the game, close the game and reload it. If that doesn't work, we will set up a new session, so please bear with us. Always seems to be a problem some night or other with
However,
little
nowadays
bits.
with the new setup here on the streams, you will have a lovely little interval screen lined up for when we do go off air. So guys, obviously,
I think what we'll do as well is we'll make the qualifying
guys.
10 minutes as well. We'll drop the qualifying down, so you guys aren't going to sit there waiting for too long. We will drop the qualifying down. Evening to Buzzy Boy, Keegs, Gary, Fury's granddad's here. He's always there to cheer on Fury. Evening to Ricky Holt. We saw him make his debut at Simplay last night. Holty 009 qualified well, but didn't get the race performance he'd have wanted. D Biggs as well in the chat. So is Jamie Brazier. Jamie Brazier in the chat after what he must consider a disappointing night for himself last week.
Yeah, last night it seemed to be a return to the old times for him. He's obviously been slacking on his visits to the church over the last week because he really was found wanting yesterday. The last couple of weeks it seemed like his internet was starting to rally itself together, but it's well and truly dumped him in it. And DJ Phillip was the one who capitalised on that and took a double win last night in the Pro-Am series in the wet conditions. DJ Phil was something of a rainmaster in it.
Drove really well, Andy. He did really well last night. He did fantastically well. Got his head down where others had problems. That was a bit of lag there. Does that mean we've got someone? D Biggs is back in, and I can't see Phil. So it's worked for D Biggs. So we've got D Biggs back in at the moment. So I'm just waiting to see if Phil can get back in. We are only missing the one driver. And I've also got Smith in the chat. Yeah, DJ Phil last night was so good. He was absolutely brilliant. Interesting to see these times at the minute. Gary only 4/10 off the pole time with his bad knee. Oh, as he gets the rear end all kind of sideways there, and he's done well to hang on to that one. Fury's having a good qualifying session, only 7/10 off the pole, man. He's up in P5.
I would love to know what
his
Jamie
first podium.
Brazier's plan is for his internet, though, Matt. I really would.
Well, I'll tell you what his plan is. I'll tell you what his plan is. He texted me earlier. He says my Wi-Fi nightmares might be over. I asked him how. He said a TP link and an Ethernet cable.
TP link.
How have you been saying an Ethernet cable for?
I've been telling him to get an Ethernet cable since I started commentating on Simplay, which was back at Silverstone. So it's a while ago now. So, yeah,
it is.
Finally heeded that advice. But I think Church probably wasn't quite sufficient to. I mean, it's helped him, but I think in the end you've got to rely on technology rather than prayers to answer your demands. Here in the sim racing world, you see Gary coming over the line, he can't improve at the moment. But yeah, I think Jamie Brazier is definitely going to come on strong with a little bit of wide connection.
Yeah, and I think he needs to now with 4 races left in the Pro-Am category. He needs to dropping off the pace of the back runners as well. We've got Phil in, so Phil has managed to get his problem solved. So thankfully we don't have to restart this one. You'll see one man isn't qualifying. He's not qualifying for the remainder of the season. He's the only G. Came into it quite late, and because he's not hoping any team score points, G is decided to not qualify for these events. But he's a full-time member of next season, and I tell you what, he's one to watch out for. Fury, though, I said was sat P5. He's just dropped to 6th as such. He's gone on pole. He's on the wall at the moment. That's at the second chicane. Fury took his first podium last week, so for the Motive lads, they're starting to get to grips here at Simplay and get on the podium a bit more, if not take the first wins like DJ Phil last night. And it's nice to see different people on the podiums, Andy, whether it's wins or just podiums in general. It's nice to see a variety of people battling it out for such a tight top 3.
Yeah, it is. You always want to see an open field where anybody has an opportunity of getting themselves up onto the top step or even podium, and Fury did a great job for second at Fuji last week. Came pretty close to getting the win as well. He was maybe a couple of laps longer and he might have got there, but he's been putting in some good performances lately. We were just talking about Sati Apex going top of the pile, but Mazda has just trumped that one. He's the first man into the 47 tier in this qualifying session, so Mazda's flying out there at the moment, but Sati Apex is just coming up through the final sector now, and oh, we see somebody getting out of shape there, and they've immediately brought it into the pits, so it doesn't look... Oh no, hold on, no they didn't, that was... I think that was, I'm not sure who that was, but Sati Apex has pitted there, so he's bailed out of that attempt. And Unorthodox is sat third, good lap there from Dan. Gary's just gone up to 4.
It's quite a close top 6, Andy. It's just under a second, sorry, separate the top 6 places here. 3 of them BMWs, 1 Lamborghini and 2 Porsches. I know Little Each and Phil and D-Biggs have pretty much only come into the lobby and not got many laps in at the moment. But we're seeing some very close lap times here around the Monza Grand Prix circuit. And not a lot of tactics that I thought we'd see. I thought we'd see something similar to last night with Holty and Deeks, where teammates may want to sacrifice a lap for the slipstream to their fellow teammate, but we're not seeing that here. We're seeing a lot of drivers quite spaced out. We've not got the F1 jumbled up down the back straight like we saw earlier this season in the Formula 1, where it's...
oh, how ridiculous was that?
Oh, silly, really silly. I think these guys have got their heads screwed on a bit better than the F1 drivers, but... yeah, no, you know, it's good to see that they're not tripping up each other, and they've got quite a fair gap between each other, so they've got clear runs. They can't really blame any performance if they're going to not get the lap done. It's their own fault at the moment because nobody's really getting a tow. One man who could do with a tow is this man here. The Acura will struggle tonight, not really the best on top end speed. And Monkey Boy 2 seconds off the time at the minute. That's not too bad for the Acura, you know, time to gain, and with a wet race coming, the Acura could be one to watch in the wet conditions, better in the wet conditions than the drier to track that is more for the quicker cars. And with no teammate tonight, can he get his head down in race 1 and put in a performance that we need to see?
Yeah, his teammate will be joining him for race 2, obviously Dean, but it's Dean, isn't it?
Yeah, Dean.
Yeah. But Dean will be joining us for race 2. He's only serving a 1 race ban on this occasion, but should he fall foul of the stewards in future, that could be a more severe penalty for him. But Monkey Boy currently, as you say, doing a decent job when you consider the fact that he's driving a car that pretty much is a tortoise down those straights. He's strong in this part of the track though. Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 gets a little bit wide onto the curb, but you can see they're trying to maximise his speed at very wide entry into the corner, all the way onto the white lines, trying to compensate for this part of the track here where he's going to be losing hand over fist. But currently Mazda's leading this qualifying session. He's got 3/10 to Sati Apex, who's just coming through Parabolica now. I think that might be an outlap for Sati, just based on my timekeeping skills, I think.
Yeah, I think he came out of the pits, I'm not sure, but I think you're right there, Andy.
Yeah, I think he came out of the pits about 2 minutes ago, so this must be an outlap for Sati. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, it is. So Unorthodox coming up towards the line now. Let's see what he can do. Dan's currently sat P3 at the moment here in this session. He's currently 3/10 of a second off of that original pole time being set by Mazda. He can't improve that time around. Gary now coming up towards the Parabolica. So
how
Gary
nice is it to see Gary out there just under half a second off the back of Mazda 2 weeks after a knee operation, when we thought his title was pretty much all gone and all hope was lost. It's nice to see him back out there and still, bad knee and all, fighting for this championship.
Yeah, he really has bounced back quickly, and it just goes to show it's quite akin to Nicky Lauda back in 1976, where he had his accident at the Nürburgring, and Gary's doing a Nicky Lauda in this situation because, you know, he's had his knee operation, he was crippled, he was hurt, and, you know, he's come back, he's bounced back straight away. He wants to get back in the car and show what he could do as soon as possible. So massive hats off to this man, really, for getting himself in the condition where he's able to put that knee through absolute hell in order to try and preserve his championship fight. So,
well, there's
yeah,
his biggest fan
really
just
well
commenting
done.
in the chat. Come on, Gary, says Bethany Ann Duffin. So his biggest fans always here watching. And I tell you one thing, one man who's very lucky to be on the grid, you won't know this, Andy, but Peaceful Explosion's router today decided to give up on him. And he's been on the day he's been on the phone all day with Sky, and Sky can't get an engineer out until later this week. Oh, we've got someone back in. I think, we didn't have Emo Guy in. I didn't realise Emo Guy had gone. Emo Guy's just got back in the session. He'll be able to get a lap in. Yeah, Peaceful Explosion's router had gone all day. He was trying to find one. I think the outcome was his mum and dad normally watch the stream, and he was going to get them to bring the router around, and he was going to do a live garage tour, he was telling me, and you know, a live sit in the car and everything, and they could borrow their router. But it turns out they've come back from shopping, him and his partner, and the router is working again. He's been on the phone to Sky. Sky says we can't even connect to your router from here, so it's buggered. I'm gonna have to send an engineer out. So let's hope and touch the wood that his router stays on for the remainder of the night and can give him a chance, because he's in the title fight, and I'm sure he's not going to want to take, or not going to want to change this to his drop score if he scores no points, because his drop score at the minute is only 10, so he's not really gaining a lot of points. I'm sure he'll score more than 10 here tonight. So we all pray for you, Peaceful Explosion. None more probably than Jamie Brazier. And we all hope your internet does hold up.
Yeah, well, let's hope Peaceful Explosion has been to church this week, because if he, oh no, it looks like maybe he hasn't. Did you see that, Matt? Did you see what I just saw?
I did.
Oh,
a bit of lag coming through the Curb Grande.
Stop watching him, because we're putting pressure on him now.
Mazda's in the pits then with 4.5 minutes remaining in this session. Sooty Apex currently out on track, and he's kind of in no man's land. There's no one around him for a tow. I'm really surprised that the guys in teams have not gone with towing each other around here. Maybe sacrifice a lap for each other. Phil's only down in 13th after his lap so far. D Biggs has managed to get into P8. Little Leach is only down in 11th. Monkey Boy down in 12th. It's a very tight grid, this, to be fair. Only 2 seconds separate the top 12. So not a bad qualifying so far. Obviously Phil and Emo Guy needs to get a lap in, and Phil obviously needs to improve on his time. I think that was Phil crossing the line. Indeed he has, and he's gone 2.6. He's improved a lot, but he's only 2.6 now off the back of Mazda, who's just coming out the pit lane. You see there.
Oh, he goes straight on there, trying to avoid the...
Is he keeping out of people's way, I wonder, on those behind him on a fast lap?
Yeah, possibly. Obviously, it is easy to get into people's ways around Monza, because the track is, although it's not particularly narrow, it's very boxed in, coming into that. You're sort of thrown immediately into the, thrown in the deep end, so to speak, because it's quite difficult to make sure that you don't impede other drivers as you're coming to the end of that pit straight. But Mazda doing it very nicely there, staying out of the way and making sure that he doesn't get involved with anybody else.
He's wheeling his tyres up. Sooty Apex in the pits. He has improved. That gap's come down to 2.29 tenths of a second then. Unorthodox then still 3 tenths off the back. Gary Leach is about to finish his lap. 4 tenths off the pole time. He's going to cross the line now. And doesn't improve there at all. So no improvement from Mazda.
AH was one of the early pace setters here in this qualifying session. That time was good enough for P2 at the beginning, but obviously he's dropped down to P5. A lot of the guys getting laps in. Let's see if he can get his car absolutely maximised for this final part of the session now, as it gets to warm up a little bit. A bit of a slide there.
Oh, very
as he
twitchy.
Came through the exit of Parabolica. But it looks like he's got it planted to
No, he's been in the
pits. Oh no, that's definitely going to put an nail in his session now.
Oh,
Keegs is there, hit the barriers.
Keegs is in the pits.
And he gets it straight out onto the track, making sure that he can get another lap in. 2 minutes 10 seconds on the clock.
Now I'm surprised Keegs is on the grid.
Time.
Sorry Andy, I'm surprised Keegs is on the grid. He was in A&E 2 nights ago. He's actually done the ligaments in his wrist. I think it's his right hand at school.
We've got Simplane Motorsport casualty.
Oh, it's
here.
Casualty here.
He's absolutely unbelievable. And lots of these guys have been
Casualty on a Saturday, Holby City on a Tuesday, Simplane Motorsport Pro Series on a Thursday. It's a 3-part series, this, folks. Tune in. Oh, we've lost another guy from the grid. Who've we lost this time round? I'm not quite sure. As that Peaceful? No, he's still sat in 7th. Can't figure out who we've lost. We've lost AH. AH has had internet problems all season, and we've lost AH from qualifying. Now the bonus is we're on the online championship, so we can get back on and can get on the grid, even if it means he starts last. He can still get on the grid. There is no cut-off in the online championship, and we seen him going into the pits there off the end of Parabolica. But he was neither driving in the pit lane. His car just seemed to vanish. He was neither in the pit lane driving, or it came up saying pit next to his name. So I don't actually know where he'd gone, and he was obviously lagging out a bit, and maybe that is why. But AH has suffered with internet connections all season, so I wonder if that is a problem for him. So Apex then, can he find that 2 tenths he needs to on Mazda? Not this time around. It can't. No, where's Unorthodox? He's just gone through Lesmo number 2, I do believe. Gary coming up to the Curb Grande, I do believe. Yeah, D Biggs heading down to Lesmo 1 here. Emo Guy still not set a time. Phil still down in P12. Little Each down in P10, so still not qualifying for him. Peaceful 7th. D Biggs is up to P5 after his connection problem. So
Ibix is flying tonight in that Audi. Really is doing a good job at the moment. 148, so I wonder if he might be able to get himself off onto the front 2 rows. You can see there we've got Yuri's gone P8. Looks like we've got Kieran Argent up into 9th. Can he improve here? He's got a bit of slipstream as he comes up towards the line. He could qualify for Kieran Argent. I've been amongst it, but he can't on that particular lap. You see Phil improving. No, that's Little Leach improving to a P11, but still not good enough for him. Surprising to see Little Leach such a long way down the order. Really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no,
I think I've done that the opposite way around, G. Yep, I've done that the opposite. No, width 1920.
Oh, you want cinema mode, I think. I don't know.
G's just telling me to. Sorry about this. We are just playing with new systems on OBS. G's just told me to do the width 1920 and height to 720. I've done that, but it's not done it as we had.
Do you know what you had before?
I do. It's in my notepad, but where's my notepad? I couldn't tell you. It's about right, isn't it?
So Mazda's got the pole position here, guys, in this qualifying session. 0.4 of a second is capped to Sati Apex. So in the end, Mazda taking a very convincing top spot here. 0.4 around Monza is nothing to be sniffed at. That is quite a significant margin indeed. There's not a whole lot of room for error around this track. Sati Apex P2, Unorthodox lining up behind him, just a 1/10 of a second off in 3rd. Gary in 4th, having had his knee operation. Great qualifying performance from him. D-Biggs with a fantastic showing here in this one in 5th place. Fury looks like he's done for the session there. P6, he'll be starting, so he got another lap in right at the end there and moves himself just above Keeg. So the 2 youngest members on the grid are lining up next to each other, 6th and 7th. Well, not next to each other, but position, as in terms of position, next to each other. Beautiful Explosion will line up in 8th. He is on borrowed time with his internet, so let's just hope that it hangs in there for the duration of this event tonight. We've got Kieran Argent lining up in 9th. Looks like that's that for the qualifying session, guys. So it's going to be Mazda starting this one on pole, Sati Apex alongside him. We should have an absolutely fascinating race 1 coming up, and we are expecting rain for this one as well, like we had in the Prime Series yesterday. So this should be a very exciting event, and here we go. It looks like we have already got some spitting rain here at the start of this race.
I just want to say that's Mazda's 6th pole of the season, and he's done an absolute top job so far in the qualifying session. Can he though make it into another win? We'll have to wait and see.
I think Sati's going to give him everything he can for this one. We've got Gary sat in 4th. Gary, a bit of a rain master. We know he always likes these wet conditions, so I'm sure he'll be seeing this as an opportunity. D-Biggs doing a brilliant job in that Audi, getting it up into 5th place.
Yeah.
Fury, right at the end of that session, did get into 6th. It was didn't actually notice it at the time, but I noticed it afterwards. So he's doing a really good job. His teammate Emo Guy not having the best of qualifying sessions, down in 13th. Got Keith sat 7th with Peaceful Explosion alongside him. Kieran Argent and Little Leach. Phil Monkey Boy, obviously Ian down in 13th place, and AH managed to rejoin us, but he loses his position, so his qualifying lap that he set all accounts for nothing. And G starting at the back of this one. G is actually a multiple world record holder here on Project Cars 2 in the V8 Supercars. He holds 32 world records, and I know he was going for the GT1 world record around this track actually here in Monza.
Oh.
As far as I know, I don't think he's actually achieved it yet. He's not too far off though, so
it's good to see.
Place.
Indeed, it's good to see we've got AH back at the end of the session there, so he's going to be competing for the race. This one, don't forget, there's only 15 on the grid. Dean Wasocki is banned for race 1 and will be back in for race 2. It's not like we're missing a driver, he's just banned from this race. And it's a shame really, because the Acura seems to thrive in wet weather. But here we go then. Everybody's readied up. Their setups, pit strategies, their downforce, pit strategies, tyre choice are all sorted. Who's going to get the best start? Sutty or Mazda? We're lights out and away we go here. And look at the start Sutty's got. He's already pulled alongside Mazda and in front of Mazda then. D-Biggs and Gary's got a good launch in P3 and 4. He's just gone backwards. Mazda's been passed by Gary now, and D-Biggs looks like he could be pressuring Mazda into turn 1. Gary and Sutty was also going down there. And that's Kieran Argent
Keegs
round.
gets a whack in the back. Kieran Argent just ran into the back of Keegs, and Kieran Argent's got a massive amount of contact there. It looks like Phil's involved in that one, and Ian as well. There's a big incident
shame.
in the first corner. G manages to get through that one up into 12th place. He's gained 3 positions off the start. We see AH castle in the back of Monkey Boy coming up through Curva Grande, but Gary finds himself in the lead of the race.
How has Gary got that one? We didn't see.
There must be a bit of a ding dong there between Sutty, Apex, and Mazda because Gary's got past all of them. And we see 3 white coming into the second chicane. What's going on here? Mazda there trying to get pushed out. I think he's got
D
Sutty,
Biggs has
Apex
done
ahead of
him. D Biggs has done Sutty and Mazda. Great job into the second chicane as we come down towards Lesmo number 1. Unorthodox is now pressuring the back of Mazda, and the BMW seems to be struggling in the wet weather at the moment. It's really had a horrid start.
Monkey Boy's just made a move on G up the inside into Lesmo 1.
Has he made it or is he defending it? Because G was behind him at AH. Oh, great move then from Monkey Boy. Phil not far from the back of these guys. Already, though, the timing screen can't be right there. Keegs is... No, I didn't think it was right. 59 seconds off the leaders.
Oh, we see D-Biggs lining up Sutty Apex, trying to make a move back with him. Sutty's got up into P2, back again.
Look at Mazda. Mazda's been taken by Unorthodox.
Is Unorthodox going to do it? It looks like he does, yeah. Brilliant move there from Dan. Tiptoeing around him in the wet conditions.
And look at Fury!
Trying to get involved in this one. Yeah, Fury right on the back of Mazda here as we come down the back straight for the first time. But Gary has already pulled out a 2-second lead at the front of the field. This is absolutely incredible stuff from Gary as we see D-Biggs having another look to the inside here of Sutty Apex. But he can't get that one done into Parabolica. And also trying to defend here. Mazda and Fury going side by side. Fury really trying to get this position done here on Mazda. He's going to try and get a good exit out of the last corner. And somebody's gone wide there. Peaceful explosion getting all sorts of out of shape onto the tarmac. On the exit of Parabolica, we've got G here being with AH and Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy's managed to get ahead of AH there.
Yeah, so good drive. Mazda is really struggling though, Andy, in these conditions in the BMW. Fury side by side with Mazda as well in the background, and you can see he's got the inside of Mazda into the chicane. Can he make it stick on the brakes? No, I think he's decided to just back out. Mazda's got a horrible run though through the chicane and Fury on the exit. They're side by side and Fury's going to try and do it around the outside of the Curva Grande. In the chat, Gary's packed his bags and drove off, says Jamie Brazier. Fury's granddad really cheering Fury on. And I'm not sure. D-Biggs has spun! And Unorthodox is off, and how these guys have missed him, I do not know. But they've done so well. Mazda and Fury, they did so well to avoid D-Biggs, who was sideways on the road.
What managed to benefit from that is G. He's up into 8th place. You just saw him thread the needle there. I don't know how G managed to get through that. He had one car on his left-hand side. He had to just thread his way through those 2 guys who had got out of shape. He also looked like he had to move briefly on Keegs, but he had to back out. He was on the outside for the Della Roja chicane. But G's on a mission here. He's up into 8th place from the back of the grid already. He's made some fantastic moves here at the start of this race. Monkey Boy trying to fend off Phil at the moment. Phil with not the greatest start of this race.
Oh, Phil's round! D-Biggs is off again, and Phil is round for a second time in this race. As is D-Biggs. It's gone horribly wrong for Phil. Is this his championship run slipping away from him? I'm not sure. But at the moment, Master's been so fortunate. Little Leach has got up ahead of Fury at the moment then. Emily Parking, go Gary. There's a new Gary fan, the sister-in-law and the wife cheering on Gary 131 then. The whole family may as well cheering Gary 131. He is a player.
He is a hit with the ladies, I tell you that, this guy.
One man who benefited, Andy, through D-Biggs and Unorthodox having a spin is Mazda. He's back up onto the podium, but Fury and Little each battling here. Surely could gain onto the back. That BMW looks terrible in the wet weather conditions. And that's Fury who's had a spin there. He's had a spin, and Peaceful and the only G are side by side, the 2 Mercedes-Benz, now running 5th and 6th. And I know G promised, G said last week that he's not going to race these guys hard. I don't think he has to at the moment. He's just gaining places hand over fist here, Andy.
He really is. G has got up in the 5th place. He started 15th on the grid. This is absolutely incredible stuff here from him. He's looking to the inside here, a Peaceful Explosion. Can he do it? Sorry, the outside, sorry. And he manages to do it brilliantly there. Peaceful Explosion just had to get out of that one because he knew that he was going to be running into the back of G if he thought that any longer. Monkey Boy looks like he's got ahead of Keegs up into 7th place. So Keegs is dropping backwards here in this race now. He's down to 8th place. He's got AH, Unorthodox, Fury and Kieran Argent in very close quarters here.
I'm telling you, Andy, the BMW is not enjoying these wet conditions. We've seen AH sort of make progress but then lose out. We're seeing Keegs drop down the order. Master struggled early on. He's got to find his feet for the second part of this race.
And also I'm taking a look to the inside of AH. He can't quite get that done. He was trying to distract in the mirrors there. Sorry, Matt.
No, you're right. I'm just saying that the BMWs just cannot, all 3 of them cannot get this to stick together at the moment. They are having a horrible race. Mazda's very fortunate to be P3 in my eyes at the moment. He would have been 5th had Unorthodox and Biggs not had a spin. But at the minute, I don't know. Gary's running away with this one, 2.3 up the road, and he's really putting his name back in the hat for this championship. A lot of the guys in the build-up this week have said, oh, we've got to wait for Gary, make sure Gary doesn't finish. But I tell you what, your worry's Mazda. Your worry isn't Gary. You want Gary to finish in front of Mazda to take points off of him in this championship.
Oh,
Gary lost out last week.
Looks like Fury's got the move here up the inside of AH. He's done it as well. Fury has made it, that move. He just out-dragged him coming down towards Ascari, and AH has now got Kieran Arjun very much in his mirrors as well.
And this is what
just sat at the back of this battle.
This is what I'm saying, Andy. The BMW is just struggling in this wet conditions. Sooty is gaining hand over fist on Gary at the moment. Mazda's kind of within 5 seconds still between these guys. Can't really get anything done.
Kiggs has lost it, coming out onto the back straight.
Yeah, and that's D Biggs as well.
Oh, D Biggs has lost it as well. What's going on here? Everyone's losing out of Ascari. Are there puddles forming on the exit, maybe?
Potentially. That's D Biggs' third spin today. Emo guy down in 15th after an earlier spin. That's D Biggs' third spin. He was running on the podium, but cannot get it done here so far. Sooty is clawing Gary in at the moment. Gary will be hoping that Little Leach can get on the back of Mazda, but it's Gary, Sooty, Mazda, Little Leach, G, Peaceful Explosion, Monkey Boy, Fury, Kieran Arjun, AH, Unorthodox, Phil Keegs, D Biggs and the Emo guy are all top 15 at the moment. Dean Wasaki's in the chat. I hope he's ready for race 2, because with the looks of this, he's got to have his hands full.
Oh, it looks like AH has gone up ahead of Kieran Arjun. Kieran Arjun getting a poor run out of the first chicane, sorry.
AH was already in front of Kieran. I think he's defending from Arjun there, because Arjun was behind coming out of Ascari last time around, if you remember. It was Fury who passed AH last lap at Ascari on AH, and now I think Kieran's trying to pass him.
Oh, he looks to the outside.
Oh, he's overshot it. He's overshot it. Oh, AH has a little bit there. And that could compromise AH's run to Unorthodox. Kieran has lost out to Unorthodox, and he's only just rejoined the trek. But so far, Unorthodox, and he's got to make up for an earlier spin. And who's that? That's the only G! The multiple world record holder has had a bit of a spin there.
Oh, no.
And he's dropped all the way down to P11 then, so... Shocking start from... Oh, good start from G, but a bit of a mistake there has cost him another place. Mazda has dropped another 3-4 tenths off the back of Sooty and Gary. And this isn't what he wants. The one main championship rival he's got in Gary is leading this race. The second championship contender, Little Leach, currently sits P4, so that's not as much to worry about. Sooty's getting points.
We got Fury. Fury's come together there with Monkey Boy.
Oh dear.
No, Monkey Boy in the wall. Fury there just limping on the exit of Ascari chicane, and that's allowed AH, Unorthodox, and Kieran Arjun up a position respectively, up to the 6th, 7th and 8th places. Incredible stuff here in these opening few laps here at Monza. And we're seeing AH having to fend off Unorthodox now, with Kieran Arjun very hot on his heels. Fury now pulling up onto this back of this little battle, and G in the background there trying to get back into this race after dropping back to 10.
I think Fury's got a problem with the suspension of that car. It just didn't look right coming around the parabolic. It looked like he wanted to just pull a little bit there. But either way, we'll see if he pits. Gary's gap now is down to 8 tenths of a second. Sooty is reeling him in. And are we going to see the Sooty safety this week, or the Sooty send it? He loves Monza. He did the hot lap on Monday night. If you didn't see that one, he did it in the Ferrari for us guys. Can we see what Sooty's made of in this one? Is Gary's knee going to hold out? Sooty just messed up. I believe that's the Della Rosa chicane. I think that's right.
That's it. And then we're coming into Lesmo 1 now, and it looks like Sooty's lost a bit of time to Gary on this lap so far. He's made a couple of mistakes there in that first sector, and Gary just keeping it together, getting good exits out of the corners. Obviously, traction is key around Monza, because the straights are so long. You can maximise your potential at the end of the straight just by getting the perfect exit out of these slower chicanes. But Sooty there was closing the gap, but he's lost a bit of time here at the start of this lap. Currently was lapping in the 154s, but it's definitely not going to be a 154 this time around at this rate.
Indeed, it's not. Little Leach is 2 seconds off the back of Mazda, 2.8 off the back of Mazda. He's really going to want to get that gap down. You see Peaceful there in 5th. He's currently 3.5 off the back of Little Leach. So them two are going to really want to get him, try and jump Mazda or put Mazda under some pressure for the championship as well. G's just passed Unorthodox, I noticed on my timing screen. Unorthodox has got past AH somewhere then. Monkey Boy's under pressure from Phil here. Yeah, G and Unorthodox then have passed AH. Argent's down in P10. Who's that side by side? That's Phil. He's attacking Monkey Boy coming up to the Ascari chicane. And here he goes on the first part of Ascari. I think Monkey Boy's going to let him have that. There's no word fighting him, but he's gone deep, and Monkey Boy gets the place back. I didn't know if Phil was going to lose it on the curb, but he's done well to keep hold of it. Phil is struggling tonight in these conditions, Andy. Monkey Boy, I think he's doing all right, Monkey Boy, in the wet. He's had that one collision with Fury, but Monkey Boy so far having a decent race. The Acura looks good in the wet conditions, but for Phil there, he struggled massively then.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately, he just went a little bit deep into the corner, and that just allowed Monkey Boy to cut back underneath him and cruise out of the Ascari chicane. We're currently watching AH at the moment. He's in a bit of clear air. He's got an orthodox couple of seconds up the road from him. Fury looks like he might be closing the gap a little bit now on AH. Currently within a second. Well, it says on the timing screen it's within a second, but I don't think it's quite that close just at the moment. Meantime, it looks like Gary is, well, he hasn't responded to Sutty. Gary is doing the same lap times as before, but Sutty had a scruffy lap last time around. It looks like Sutty's sort of started to put it together though, they're having set out the gap 2.5 seconds.
That's all it takes though, Andy, is to just be consistent each lap, and Gary's doing just that at the moment. Let Sutty make the mistakes. If he's got a push to catch you, let him make the mistakes, and that's currently what Gary is doing. Sutty said earlier he doesn't think he's going to get a top 5 in race 1. Well, he must be over the moon. The fact is that he's 24 seconds ahead of dropping out of the top 5. Must be absolutely over the moon with that one so far. 2.8 off the back of Gary.
So far. Really
it
is.
really is, yeah. D Biggs is into the pits then. So just marking that one down on my little notes to know that D Biggs has pitted, so we can keep you up to date with who has and hasn't pitted. The BMW's
all over the back of AH now.
Yeah, I was just about to say the BMW still looks like it's a bit. I mean, in the hands of AH, Keegs is down in 13th. Mazda's doing a good job in that BMW in 3rd, because I think this car is a handful in the wet weather conditions. It looks just. It looks too much for them.
Summerside, fill up the inside here. Can he get sick this time around, or is it going to be a repeat of last time? It looks like
he's done it. Who's that span? Oh, Phil's just binned it. Phil's just binned it. Monkey Boy's off as well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and they collect each other.
Oh no. There's going to be damage on the front of that Lamborghini, and I think there might also, as we'll see there, that's Keegs making his way up into 11th place, but these guys are going to be in all sorts of trouble now. Are they going to have to bring it into the pits for repairs? You'd think they'd want to get that done straight away, because that could be a mess on the front of those cars now.
It really could. You see the fog has started to fall now here at Monza. Fury still hassling the back of that BMW. Very twitchy on the wheel. That wheel, to me, I think he's having to twitch that because he may have a bit of suspension damage. Do you think that's pulling a bit? Having to twitch it to the right quite a lot. Pulling left slightly, I reckon. He's doing a good job though. His Fury's he's got good pace. He's keeping that gap to AH in front of him relatively close. Sutty's dropped back even further, so an even worse lap. Little Each as well has dropped off the back of Mazda. Mazda lapping the same as the leaders. Oh, and AH has had a spin, and I think Fury caught the puddle and AH caught. They've both had a spin. I'm just watching back on the stream, which is obviously a bit behind the live broadcast. Just give me 2 seconds. They're coming up to the Curva Grande, and AH touches the puddle, and Fury hits the exact same puddle, and then they make contact. So they both hit the puddle at the Curva Grande, and then they hit each other. And I tell you what, that is shocking. Jamie Brazier, I'm considering the BMW for next season, depending on the weather for the races. Next season, you guys ain't going to know the weather for the races. You're going to find out on the day what the weather is. Dean says he'll be lucky to finish the race. Dean, mate, slow and steady could win this race at the moment. Just put in clean good lap times and you can get a good points haul here in race 2. The wet weather in the Acura looks good. You've got to keep yourself out of trouble. Don't forget, for these guys who are listening, if you want anything reported, get it sent into the Simplay Motorsport Facebook group. Message it me. I know some guys I'll speak to on Discord. If you can message me at Discord, I can send it, forward it to the admin and the stewards to have a look at. So don't be worried about that one. I know AH talks through Instagram, so get that done. Who's that off? That's D Biggs off again, and is a lap down here. He's the only one to have pitted so far that I've seen. Is a lap down at the moment.
So unfortunate for D Biggs. He had such a good qualifying session, but it's all gone to pot here in this race one. As we see here, looks like Fury's looking to the outside of Kieran Argent, coming out towards Parabolica. Is he going to have that one, or is Kieran Argent going to try and outbrake him coming into the corner? It looks like Fury's got that done. He sweeps round and up into 9th place.
Good move. And it just looks like he's trying to cut Kieran off there. He's gave Kieran plenty of room. There was a car's width there. There was plenty of room there for Kieran to make the move. There was, to keep the car on the road. I think Kieran may have just touched to the grass a little bit in a bit. When you're sort of in the car, you have that bit of moment to panic as you see one just closing the door. I think it was a bit of that. There was still a car's width there. Yeah. The fog looks like it's starting to lift, and the rain looks like it's stopped.
Oh, he squeezes him out a little bit. And Kieran Argent is up into the position once again. Fantastic racing from Kieran Argent. He's not giving that one up, but he backs out of it a little bit. I don't know if he got a penalty maybe for overstepping the track limits, because he definitely completed the move off the track there. He's relinquished the position back to Fury once again though.
And that's good driving from Kieran, good awareness, because these guys don't run with the track limit, so it won't give them the track limit penalty. So it is down to them to do it. If they don't do it, they can get reported and get penalised in the steward's office. And look at Fury and Kieran deep there. Well. They've got Biggs a lap down behind him, who looks quite quick at the moment. But Biggs needs to sort of back off and keep out of this one, because this is 4th position. Biggs obviously a lap down here. Sutty now 4 seconds off the back of Gary, and the sun looks like it's starting to come out here at Monza then. So is the track going to dry? Lap 8 it is at the moment. Still a bit of mist around, but it does look like the sun is trying to break through. It has definitely brightened up, and Kieran lost it at Lesmo too, and he's managed to hold that brilliantly from going in the wall. Phil is now gaining on the back. This for P10 if Phil can get it done. Monkey Boy currently down in 12th, Emo Guy 13th, Keeks 14th, and D-Biggs 15th and last. But Mazda looks like he's slowly gaining on Sutty Apex here. He's dropped Little Each a bit and he's slowly gaining on Sutty Apex. That is not what Sutty wanted in this race. He wanted to be on the back of Gary, not have Mazda on the back of him.
Oh, somebody's lost it. Fury's lost it. He's got
again.
He keeps doing it there, and it looks like he also got caught up with Monkey Boy. Is that?
No, that's D-Biggs, I think.
Oh, no,
dear.
D-Biggs catch Fury. I don't know.
Oh, I hope not. No, I hope not as well. That'd be all he'd need, to be fair, if a backmarker's got involved. We did just say about D-Biggs sort of backing off a little bit. If that is the case, how unfortunate. Who's that off? Oh, Kieran's had a moment at the Parabolica. The wet weather, Andy, is catching so many people out here.
It is. The puddles are starting to form, and it's torrential rain we saw in the first part of this race. It's eased off now. In fact, I think it's actually stopped, but we've still got the standing water, and it's going to take a little while for this to clear. Some of these guys might think that they can push it a little bit harder than they can, but it's still very much full wet conditions at the moment. So Fury once again caught out by that, but it looks like Phil and Monkey Boy might have had a moment, because Fury's back up into 9th here.
Phil's had a great start, a great sort of recovery drive at the moment, up to 9th. It was ahead of Monkey Boy. Kieran's obviously had the spin at Parabolica, which has allowed Kieran to drop down a few places, even behind Monkey Boy. Kieran now looking on the back. Phil's trying to get past Fury. There is Emo Guy. Not seeing much of him tonight. Disconnected in qualifying and got him back in, and he's had a terrible start to this race. Gary's in the pits though. Gary, the first of the leaders pitting.
And outside of Monkey Boy coming into the De La Rosa chicane. He's made that one stick there, Kieran Argent. Oh, he goes a little bit, clouts the curb, and that's allowed Monkey Boy back up into 11th place there.
Did you see him bounce off the curb? Like he was a kangaroo. Oh, Sutty's got Phil's got the move done on Fury then, 4P9, so Phil has that move done in the Lamborghini and is away. Gary has pitted here in the Porsche at the moment. Lap 9, Gary is pitted, D-Biggs is pitted. I don't remember seeing anybody else in the pits. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. But at the moment, Gary, the first of the leaders to pull the trigger. G has just gone past him for P5 at the moment.
Like Gary's changing tyres there, Matt.
He can't be. Unless it's for a fresh set of wets. He can't be putting dry tyres on.
Could be for a fresh set of wets, but he seems to be in a pit box for more than 5 seconds there.
And he wouldn't have had any damage. He's had quite a clean race out front on his own, hasn't he? Unless we've missed him clipping the wall.
No, he's had a pretty trouble-free race, and the fact that the lap times that he was doing suggests that he definitely didn't have damage on the car. So maybe just going for a fresh set of boots, trying to secure the win. Obviously, he'd lose about 10 seconds by changing his tyres, but if he can gain maybe a second a lap on fresh tyres, then it will be worth it for him. Question is now, can Sutty Apex, excuse me, really get his foot down here in these next 6.5 laps and try and get the overcut on Gary? I don't know whether he's got the pace underneath him. As the track dries out, maybe it might start to play into the hands of this man just a little bit more in that Lamborghini.
Phil's in the pits as well. I'll tell you one man who it will play out to if the track does start to dry out is that man who's just coming to shot in the background. Oh, Phil's got no rear wing, so he's been in the walls again here. One man that he might play out for is Mazda in P2, 5 seconds off the pace. But that could play out for him if the track's drying enough. There is Little Each and Peaceful Explosion down the straight. Sutty best not be thinking of pitting this lap because Phil's going to be in the pits a while.
Yeah, I think he is, as we can see there. It looks like we got Peaceful Explosion just coming into Parabolica. Just a couple of seconds behind Little Each on the track. It looks like he's very much keeping him honest at the moment. Could be, well, it's not going to be for a podium, I don't think, because obviously Gary's been into the pits already. But this is probably for 4th and 5th. Once all is said and done, but oh, see Peaceful Explosion there, just chipping across the screen. Oh,
let's hope it's not the router playing up for him. Jamie's Braziers just said, I think he's had a pit problem, so I wonder if he has had a pit stop error. And Emily Parkin saying that Gary's doing well in the wet. Alright, you only started following Gary at Monaco on Tuesday night at Motive Racing, Emily.
Gary once again proving that he is a true ladies' man. He's incredibly popular with the females. He always
Rob.
has been, I think.
Rob, if you're watching and you can hear me, get control of your woman. She's I've had to reel Beth in a bit with Gary, so you might need to do the same with Emily. Rob, if you can hear me, just take my advice, pal. Although, if I know Rob like I know him, he'll probably say that he can have her. So, Gary, though, sits P5 at the moment, has got past. Who is he past? We've lost once. We've lost someone. We've lost Peaceful.
No.
We've lost Peaceful. And he's not done 12 laps, so he will not score points. Did he lag out? I don't know. Has he just retired? I'm not sure. But we've lost Peaceful Explosion. He said he was jumping across the screen. That is not what we want here. So Gary, at the moment, up into P5.
We could have seen that one coming because he was really obviously struggling with connection issues. We could just see his car was jumping in and out. But Kieran Argent bringing it into the box to make his mandatory pit stop from P10. That is a really unfortunate Peaceful Explosion. Maybe his router has finally given
he's
up
just
the ghost.
commented saying lagged. Just commented saying lagged. So Peaceful Explosion, how unfortunate for him. He will be, however, though, be able to qualify for race 2, and if he can get him in and he can manage to get the race, all he needed was one more lap as well to complete the 75% distance. So that is absolutely unfortunate. Sooty Apex has gone into the pit lane, so Mazda takes the race lead. So has Little Leach. He's jumped in the pits as well. So Mazda takes the race lead at the moment. And when is he thinking of pitting? Little Leach and Sooty Apex in the pits. DJ Phil, evening to you, DJ Phil. Nice to see you here. A double race winner last night. Absolutely fantastic drive from DJ Phil. Only G's coming into the pits. He's just been disqualified.
Oh my god.
I think G's just sped in the pits and been disqualified. How many times can you say he's been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane? I do not. Oh, has he?
He's done this before.
That's brilliant. Sooty Apex still in the pits as Motive Racing's commented. I think that might be, is that G commenting on Motive Racing channel? Oops.
G, yeah. I think G has done this at Monza before. He always misses the pit lane entry.
Oh,
this is becoming a bit of a tradition there for him.
Andy, Gary has jumped Sooty and Little Leach has jumped Sooty. Little Leach and Sooty pitted on the same lap. I wonder if Sooty's had a really bad pit stop then, because he's dropped it.
Could this play Mazda up into P2 and potentially bring... Oh, I don't know what's going to happen here. This is quite a development though. Track's definitely drying out also, so do any of these guys who are still on the wets maybe take a gamble at this point and change onto the dry tyres? I'm sure Unorthodox coming into the pits may have considered this, because you can see the track pretty much bone dry out there, Matt. So is Dan going to try and change to the dries? Obviously the track's pretty rubbered in now.
Indeed it is. Monkey Boy's coming into the pits. Emo Guy as well is coming into the pits. So a lot of guys getting their stops out the way now and have waited for this to start to dry up. One man who hasn't is Mazda. We've not had AH in yet neither. I haven't seen Fury in. We also haven't had Keegs in as well. So Keegs and Mazda really could do with sorting their pit strategy out, because one of them's got to pit before the other. What evening to Welsh? Mazda's about to lap on Orthodox here, who is down in P8. So Mazda has lapped P8 but hasn't pitted yet in this race. Now if it's drying, this will come to the BMWs and they'll start to feel a bit better for performance at the end of this one. Mazda's about to lap his teammates now. When does his teammate pit? Because they cannot share a pit box, don't forget, Andy. So when does Mazda pit compared to Keegs? That is the question.
Absolutely, that is the question, and at the moment it looks like Mazda's surely going to have the first pick, because he's sat in the lead of the race, currently battling over what's probably going to be a net podium spot, possibly second place with in fact, I think Mazda's going to come out in a comfortable second place as it stands, so surely... Well,
Sooty had the problem in the pits, didn't he? And I think that's Mazda that's has done a trick there with Sooty having a bad pit stop. Mazda's gone long and has seemingly got the advantage here, but you're right. Surely you'll give Mazda the preference of the pit stop in this one. He's got to pit a latest to lap 15, so he's got the end of this lap and then the next two.
Oh, Matt, we're seeing a bit of fighting here over Gary in the YouTube comments section. It appears there's a bit of jealousy going on between
indeed a bit of jealousy. Bethany saying, Emily, I'm his biggest fan. The gloves are off then. Round one, ladies.
Yeah, cat fight going.
Yeah.
In the,
ding, ding, ding.
Comments. Sorry.
Absolutely good stuff. Gary, I can't believe you've got such a fan base and it's all women. What a player.
A lucky man, tell
What
you
a
what.
yeah, what a legend. What a legend. What a lad. Mazda and Keegs then on track. Keegs is darting into the pit lane, and that is Furion as well. So Keegs having the treatment over Mazda then. So Mazda going longer here because Keegs has pitted. So where is Gary? 29 seconds behind. Little Leach is just coming up to Ascari chicane. Sutty is well behind Little Leach. He's really been dropped by him here. Really has been dropped by Little Leach here. And it must have had a bad pit stop. Something must have not gone right for him in the pits, because it's really affected him in this race so far. And he's wide at the exit of Ascari chicane. Emo Guy has passed Keegs and Fury. Argent has passed Fury and Keegs. That's 7th and 8th for them too. Phil has also passed Fury and Keegs as Keegs has come on our pit exit. So Keegs down to P10, Fury down to P11. They've got Monkey Boy, I'm sure, not too far behind them. Oh, actually, I say that, Monkey Boy's about a minute behind them, so not quite sure there. But Mazda, track is dry, and this will be burning up his wet tyres here, Andy, like a treat. 4 seconds slower than Gary last time around as well. So Gary's pulled back 4 seconds. Little Leach as well pulled back 3 seconds. Sutty pulled back 5 seconds on the last lap into the 149s. So I tell you what, with Mazda going long here, is this going to affect him?
It surely will, because he's only going to be losing time at this point. I think it's a no-brainer to come into change to the 6, because he's got to pit anyway, so it makes no difference. As to he's not going to be able to try and stay out to the end. He's going to have to come in to make that mandatory pit stop. So I don't know what he's going to try and gain with this one.
Yeah, AH is now in the pits. He's really going to be hurting his wet tyres. You see no spray there. Peaceful explosion. How unfortunate for Peaceful. I have seen that.
He's pulling away. That's just pulling away.
Oh, Mazda.
Here.
Oh, I wonder if you just made a mistake last lap then. Very interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on the lap times. Look at where he's having to pull to cool his tyre down. That is extraordinary. The fact he's having to pull there to cool his tyre down. AH has now been lapped in the pits. Peaceful Explosion said his connection lagged and it kicked him from the race, but he was still connected to the party chat on the PlayStation. So it's kicked him from the game, but it's not kicked him from the whole party chat. So, oh, what a shame for him. I'm sure he'd rather have got disconnected from the chat than the game itself. Gary 131. What was his time this time around? Oh, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. He's gained 3 seconds that lap.
He's flying at this point, so Mazda's definitely going to lose the lead.
Sutty's past Little Leach.
Oh, yeah, we see there.
I think Little Leach has had a mistake, because he looked slow coming into the entrance of Parabolica there when we changed. I think Little Leach has made a mistake there then. Emo Guy is in the pits again, not quite sure what that one's for. Fury then will overtake him for P10. Mazda, though, has got to get a move on, because if he has a problem in the pit lane, I mean, even if he doesn't change tyres, I think he may have Sutty covered depending on where he comes out. I think he's lost the race to Gary though.
Yeah, he's surely going to lose that position to Gary, but I think as long as he doesn't change his tyres, if he tries, he can limp round on those wet tyres and stay ahead of Sutty. I reckon the pit stop around Monza is about 28 to 30 seconds, so as long as he comes out with around a 10-second buffer to Sutty, he should be able to limp round, bring it home in P2. He'd be better off staying on those wets and trying to track them round for one more lap than changing tyres to the dries. The dry tyre change will cost him 15 seconds minimum, whereas if he stays on the wets, he can try and limp round, probably lose about 6 or 7 seconds. Overall, it's going to be a quicker race time if he can actually stay on those wets and just be in and out of this pit box. But let's see what he does here.
So this is the moment to wait and see what Mazda could do. Lap 15 of 16 in this one, so he will cross the line, start the final lap of the race in the pit lane, and he pulls into his pit box now, but Gary's time is already coming down. When does Mazda leave the pits? Gary is coming round the Parabolica, was that, I do believe. Mazda's away. I don't think they've changed his tyres. He's going to lose out to Gary for sure. Where is Sutty Apex going to be by the time Mazda comes out the pits? That's the interesting one for me. Mazda's gone full DeLorean mode here. And Sutty, I tell you what, Sutty's behind Keegs. We could see some team tactics coming to play. Mazda is away now, and look at Keegs. Doesn't seem the quickest round the Parabolica. And is he just holding Sutty Apex up? He's let him go now. But is that BMW going to have enough pull here? I think Mazda's going to be able to hang on to second place. So Mazda's jumped Sutty.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be able to cruise around for this final lap. He's got enough of a buffer back to Sutty Apex. So Mazda really getting the strategy right here. His gap to Gary earlier in the race was around 10 seconds, so can't take it away from Mazda. What a good job he's done here in this one, and he's just behind
Phil.
I think that's Phil there. So Phil, after his promising start after this race, really has gone all horribly wrong for him. He's now in 7th place, but still some good points here in those championship standings. But it's very much been about this man here, Gary. Started in 4th place here in this race. He made an absolute flyer of a start to the race. Got himself into P1 after the first corner, and he's not looked back since. It's going to be his first race back on the wheel, on the pedals, since his knee operation a couple of weeks ago, and he's back with a bang. I tell you what, I'm sure he's going to be very happy that he made this decision to jump in at the deep end and try and go back to his wheel and pedals once again.
Indeed he is. The gap between Sutty and Mazda is not really coming down. I think Sutty's had a mistake somewhere, possibly pushing too hard, but look at the gap between Mazda and Gary. Oh, was that Mazda having a bit of a wiggle on the exit of Ascari there? Potentially was, as he's trying to lap Phil. He's still not managed to lap Phil. Is Phil just trying his damnedest to hold him up a bit here? The gap's 10 seconds. He's not going to hold him up enough there. Sutty on the exit of Ascari could get interested towards the end of the race, but Gary's already flashing his lights. He knows he's done well here. The man with only one leg at the moment wins here at Monza for round 15 of the season, and he's back on form in this championship. It is not done by any stretch of the imagination. Mazda has made his tyres go 16 laps. Brilliant pit stop compared to Sutty's, and he looks like he's going to come home to take P2. Indeed he has. A bit of a photo finish there with AH. Sutty Apex in the background. He's going to come across to take 3rd place. Good race for him. I'm sure he'd have wanted more. Little each will take a P4 then. Well, Orthodub's in 5th place. Had a bit of a quiet one since his spin, but a 5th place nonetheless for him. Yeah.
Huge gap between.
Where's he? He's at the Lesmo. Wow, he's only at the first Lesmo.
It's incredible the margin between those guys. I think Unorthodox is the last guy on a deep lap as well.
Yeah, he
so
is.
We're going to be waiting a little while.
So Phil has been lapped and finished P6. AH has finished P7, a lap down. Kieran Argent has finished P8, a lap down. A lot of people a lap down here. This is quite incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It's surprising to see Dan such a long way behind. We know he's got some skills to pay the bills in these GT3s. He won the race at Bruno a couple of 3 weeks ago now, before the 1 week break. So he made a flying start to his GT3 career in the Pro Series here at Simplay Motorsport. But this race one tonight here at Monza, excuse me, has not really gone to plan for him. Flash the lights there. He knows we're watching him on the stream. Got the hiccups.
Keegan in the Kieran in the chat says sorry about that one. Turn one backhand's come around on me when I hit the brakes. Well done, Gary. A few well done Garys in the chat. Phil says good win, Gary. Big damage for a Dan dive. Well, Unorthodox crosses line and finishes in P5. We'll see who's got the fastest lap of the race. Phil did get 6th, AH 7th, Kieran Argent 8th, Keegs Knight Fury 10th, Emo Guy 11th, T-Bigs 12th, and Monkey Boy 13th. Is that everybody done? Are we still waiting on somebody? I can't think who we're waiting on. There's Argent, Keeks, Fury, Emo. Oh, D-Bigs.
Oh,
D-Bigs hasn't yet crossed the line. And there he goes. He crosses the line now. And has finished that one. And fastest lap of the race goes to, I think it's Sutty Apex. Yeah, 49.2. So Sutty Apex takes the fastest lap of this one. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back shortly after the quick mid-break interval when we get everybody back in. We'll have a few interviews, hopefully, for race 2. But stay there, right where you are, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Nice interval.
Cheers,
Yeah,
mate.
that's good.
My brother did that.
That looks sick.
He does all them bits and I can't fucking do them, so I got him to do it for me when he was on one of his days off. Kieran's backhand didn't spin under the brakes, he hit me and then spun.
Fury's not particularly chuffed, is he? You can see.
Oh, what's Fury said?
Biggs, what were you doing? You cost me 3 places because you wouldn't move, and I tapped the back of you when you were up down.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Naughty.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Gap's down to 13 points from 18.
What's that in the favour of Gary?
No, Mazda's 13 in the lead now. Little Leach and Sooty have lost ground to Mazda. Peaceful and Phil's lost a lot of ground to Mazda.
How far is Gary?
Gary's 13 behind Maz.
I hope he makes a fight of it now he's got the pedals sorted out.
Yeah, right, I hope so as well. I hope he's not putting himself in too much pain, but at the same time I kind of want him to, if that makes sense.
No, you want it to be a competitive championship,
Yeah.
but you hope it's not damaging him, do you know what I mean? The last thing he wants is to be fucking up his new knee, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, not new knee, well, I don't know, it wasn't a replacement, was it? It was just an operation.
No, that's it. That's Sooty's fourth fastest lap of the season.
But the thing is, if he strains it while it's still fusing,
Yeah.
then that could really cause him problems like down the road. So the last thing he wants is to kind of fuck that up while he's
Yeah, that's it. I did say to him earlier, look, if you have to pull out, just pull out one. You know, I'm not expecting him to win championship, but we'll see. Fury, yes, I was a lap down.
His left or his right?
Left, I do believe it's his braking foot.
That's worse, isn't it? That's way worse. I mean, it's kind of like... The thing is, I suppose you could use your clutch.
Oh shit!
Use your clutch.
Gary had to pit brake. I think he's got clutch on pedal. Gary's just putting stream that he put only 9 laps of fuel in the tank, which is why he pitted so early compared to everybody else. Loaded his quali setup apparently.
Jeez.
Right, I'm gonna get all that in. I don't think so. He must have changed his tyres back to wets to have fresh rubber. Who got top 5? Gary, Sooty, Little Leach Mazda, Sooty, Unorthodox, and let me guess, Gary's appearing offline. Yeah. Right, so we'll get them in quickly. If it was based off the normal standings without the drop score, the gap would be 32 points. Alright, so mate, when we go back live, we'll do a bit of an interview and we'll go from 5 to number 1, so we'll do 3rd, yeah? Yeah, no reason. See if we can get everyone in quickly.
We're not live then, Matt.
Not yet, no. So what I'll do is I'll do you 3rd if everybody comes in, because I'll go from 5th to 1st like last night.
Alright.
So let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Well,
9,
it
10,
wasn't as bad as I thought, Matt, apart from when I span it like a moron.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What happened in the pits?
Wheel nut. Controller nearly went flying. Did you tell I was raged by my lap time?
I could, yeah, to be fair.
Pit stop errors next season, Matt.
You what?
Are you keeping pit stop errors in next season?
No,
think so,
no,
yeah.
they're going. We're going to put a vote and they're all going. Me and Phil want rid of them. It always is. We always say it always is.
Top 5 been invited for interviews.
I'll take 3rd after me spin.
Mazda didn't change tyres in that race, just to let you know.
Well, I wasn't going to, but it seemed to be a lot drier than what we've done in practice. I don't know if it's because of the cars on the track.
More cars on the grid, mate, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so when I lost it,
Do you know when you do practice, I think you're better off setting up a lobby that AI can come in, even if you met the AI shit.
Yeah.
At least they clear off the water, so then you get an idea of what it's going to be like later on.
Well, I just lost the rear, and I don't even know why I lost it.
Right,
I was like, what's
we're
happened?
going to get Sooty in then. I won't like a quick interview with Sooty then. Right. Dubs, we're going to just do an interview, Dan, but when we go back live.
Hello, sorry, I've just joined.
We're just going to do an interview when you go back live. When we go back live, mate, we'll start with you because you finish P5, yeah.
No worries.
And then if you get back into your party after.
I'm not actually in the stream, so G told me so.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, if you go back in your party after, and then you would just do a quick
No worries.
interview. The others have a choice, which was you and Sutty, but we'll start with you then.
That was sketchy as hell.
It was horrendous.
I kept getting hit by D Biggs, man. I couldn't keep away from it.
He's really clean, D Biggs. Like,
What?
Sketchy.
he doesn't know this, does he? He's on part of what happened last season.
No, he's not.
I can't qualify now, can I?
No, this is why we wouldn't just do an interview with you as well.
This is what annoys me. I always end up fifth and I can't.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. We've got only 2 of the top 5 in the party with us, so we're going to have a quick interview with Unorthodox, who finished P5. Dan, an up and down race for yourself, struggled in the wet conditions and a few incidents, but 5th place, good points for yourself though.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, the start was just horrendous. I had no grip, and when I got caught up with D Biggs at the start as well, I had damage as well from then. So I couldn't actually make any ground due to damage.
Ah, shame. You seem to have pace every now and again, but like you say, was the damage the only thing that was affecting you?
Yeah, pretty much. And also I was just waiting for that perfect time to go onto the slicks, and every time I was waiting I ended up in more incidents. So it never really panned out my way, but hey, I always end up in 5th, and now I can't qualify, which sucks, and that happens every time.
What's your thoughts going into race 2? Obviously the weather's kind of flipped for race 2. You can't qualify, be by the back of the grid. In fact, you're on the back of the grid. You're just looking to make as much progression as possible?
Well, I'm going to let the boys of Sutty and G and Mazda push their way through, and whoever they get past, I'm going to try and stay right behind them and sneak my way past. But it's going to be more of survival the first few laps for me.
Well, what you've managed to do is you're out of the running for the title now, which I'm surprised. I don't think you're surprised at all. Obviously, coming into it quite late, but you've put yourself only 3 points behind Monkey Boy, and a chance to move up another position in the leaderboard tonight. Getting well clear of that bottom 3 in the drop zone at the moment. So you must be happy with your performance since you've started at Spa.
Yeah, like every race I seem to be getting better and better and improving each race and getting the hang of this league. And the main goal was to keep away from the bottom 3 and to stay in Pro. I'm really enjoying racing in Pro. Yeah. I do not want to go down into Pro-Am. So if I can keep getting further and further away from the bottom 3, that's the goal. So Monkey Boy's the next target, so let's see if I can catch him.
Well, best luck for race 2, mate. We wish you all the best. We're joined as well by Sutty Apex. Sutty, you took a P3 in that one. What was P2 for so long didn't turn out that way. Mazda managed to pip you at the end, but it's a podium nonetheless. It's in your fastest lap as well, so an extra point. It's actually your 4th fastest lap and your 4th, 2nd or 3rd place this season, so consistent at the minute, mate.
Yeah, I'm happy with it in the end. I had a stupid spin, which was my own error, which then let Mazda through, and I pitted for the softs and I lost the wheel nut again, but we won't go into all pit crew. But other than that, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah,
you've managed to keep 2nd in the Constructors' Championship as well, with Phil not having the strongest of races. You are 37 points off the title though. Are you still gunning for the title, or are you kind of just playing it race by race?
Oh, of course, I'll still be gunning for it until I mathematically can't achieve it. But yeah, like anything, I'll keep going, I'll keep plugging away, and hopefully one of them might make a mistake.
Now, one thing me and Andy keep asking is we keep praying to see the Sutty send it, but all we're getting is Sutty sensible safety driving. When's the send it going to come back out, bud? I know you're capable of one. When are we going to re-see it?
Well, we might start seeing it when I can't get the championship. Then I might start. I seem to be consistent when I don't send them as much as I used to, but yeah, I don't get my elbows out maybe as much as I used to. But
what's your plans as well for race 2?
Race 2, just try and get up as cleanly as I can, see where I end up. I think you might see a couple of Sutty sends it, especially when it's dry, because I think that's I'm going to have to get past everyone, I think. So we'll just see what happens. We'll
let you get back to Phil, buddy. Best of luck, and best luck in race 2.
Alright, cheers. Thanks guys. Right.
So you will notice, Andy, on the grid, we have got a full 16 cars on the grid now. Dean Wasocki is back in with us, currently sat in the pit lane. I think we're going to hear from Little Each in a moment. He's just outside having a quick break while he can't qualify, so I don't know if we'll hear from him. There is Dean Wasocki, Andy, and he was on the session watching race 1, so he'd have seen it with a keen eye. Oh god.
Oh
dear.
I've been disconnected.
Yeah, so have I.
Oh, this is a bit of a bummer. Yes. Saturday Apex cannot perform voice communication.
Oh, that just means he's lagged out. Neither can an Orthodobs. Huh.
Right. Well, have you got an invite?
I'll be able to join in lobby now. I wonder if there's lots of people got disconnected. No longer in party due to network error. I am now, yeah. Hmm? Yeah, I know, I've read it.